Where's the cue ball going to go? It's going to stay up. Is the 4 ball going to spoil the party? Well, it is a little bit. So Shane, he's got some thinking to do, but he will be in a good place, will Shane, beating Jason Shaw to creep further towards the top of the leaderboard.
Well, to such an extent that if he were to win this match, for now at least, he would be in second place.
What Shane's looking at here is he's looking at playing the 1 off the left side of the pink 4, so the 1 goes up table. But the cue ball's on the rail, so he can't get the cue ball behind the 9.
Attention, please.
So, what has he spotted? Where's this 4 ball going to go? So he's going to do what I originally thought. He's going to try and stop the cue ball there and get that 1 just moving up table, just like so. Nicely played. Good shot. Good vision. Good shot.
You employed a word there, Carl, vision. It seems to me that's what all of the very top players have. Imagination.
Yeah, it's just something that when you stood behind the shot, when you reach the top level and you understand the cue ball, you just see all the shots, you see what's possible and what's not possible.
Yes, we see certain players who look technically $1 million, but tactically they might be comparatively naive. Van Boning is both. Tactically superb, technically dependable.
10 seconds.
It's a nice kick shot. That just proves you don't always get away with it. Sometimes you leave it on, sometimes you don't.
Well, Ouschan played one of the most remarkable racks, I think, of this entire round-robin phase. The decider against Joshua Filler. Filler repeatedly put Ouschan in trouble. Often, Ouschan had to kick, and he did keep getting away with it. Not in this instance. On table 2, Skylar Woodward has taken a 1-0 lead over Omar Al-Shaheen.
This is day 5 of the Predator Premier League pool. It's the first time Matchroom pool have staged this event, and I think it's been a success, Phil.
I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think especially today, when it's been crunch day, as it will be on Sunday and Monday, of course. Sunday for the next group, Monday for the third group, and then of course the knockouts, the semi-final and final, the culmination of the 8 days of pool here. And you get the feeling both of these two will be involved on Monday.
That's another shot that Shane's very good at judging the pace. When the cue ball's coming off another ball, that's very easy to over it or under it. But time and time again, he performs that shot very well. That comes with hours and hours on the pool table. Shane actually has this table in his house. Often he'll go on his Facebook page and go live and show the world him practicing for 4 or 5 hours. When he's not ice fishing, of course.
Yes, a native of South Dakota. An absolutely stunning state. In winter, though, rather chilly. Nice start from Shane Van Boning, showing us a full collection of his shot-making capabilities. The really good tactical shot, and then when he got the chance, cleared them up very efficiently. Now, I told you that Skylar Woodward was 1-0 up on Al Shaheen. Well, Al Shaheen surely is about to level. There it is. He's involved in something I think unique over the 5 days so far, Carl. He's playing 3 matches in succession on the same table. The first one didn't work out too well. He lost to Naoki Oi 5-2. After this, he takes on Alexander Kazakis. His continuation in this tournament still up for debate. You don't like this format, Carl. Lots of pool, lots of backstage banter.
Yeah, to be fair, I probably would have done. Short races, loads of matches, playing all the opponents.
Rack number 2, our current
And of course the fact that if you lose one match, you're not out. That always helps. Yeah, I think this would have been right up my street, Phil. Albin's made the 3 ball. Cue ball did get kicked, that's why it looked a little bit messy. And it's ended up not too bad. He's on the wrong side of the potting angle though, to hold for the blue 2. Now he could pot it and try and hold the cue ball literally where he's just pointed. That would still leave a pot on the 2. That's a sensible decision. That way you can put a nice little stroke on this ball. Doesn't have to hit the shot hard. Give the pocket a chance. Nice shot.
In a match involving these two, it's very hard to forecast the outcome. Much easier is to forecast the way the match will go. Hard to imagine too many mistakes. Slightly anxious when the cue ball came off the second cushion there. Wasn't quite sure, Ouschan, whether he'd made contact with the 5 or not. But he just avoided that. Omar Al Shaheen now 2-1 up on Skylar Woodward.
Another miscue. That's the 3rd miscue tonight.
And what's amazing about that is that over the course of the first 4.5 days, they've been such a rarity, and all of a sudden they show up in a bunch.
I wonder if it's anything to do with the fact that they've played a lot of matches. Have they just played a lot of matches? Have they not roughed the tip up a little bit? Or is it just bad cueing?
Shane Van Boning was the beneficiary against Jason Shaw, and he's the beneficiary here.
The last 2 pots of Shane have not gone in clean. This is the reason why the cue ball has found this rail.
And the way you were talking there, Carl, I know what was in your mind because it was in mine. When you play a couple of shots like that and they only just struggle in, when you're left with a pressure shot like Van Boning had, there's a real chance that that ball can go astray, and it most certainly has.
Extension, please.
Yeah, that's the beauty of sport. All sports is very similar. This is no different. You just get that feeling that, oh, okay, these have not gone in clean. You're kind of just waiting for that mistake. Albin's got a problem here, though. Does this bank? Can you get the cue ball out of the way? Can't see where the 9 is. I believe he's trying to get the cue ball behind it. Oh, it was so close to being a phenomenal shot.
This one needs to be.
Yeah, it was a smart decision by Albin. He knows he's going to leave Shane long, and then Shane's going to be faced with this type of shot. Oh my word, what a stroke. He's just put on that ball, Phil.
And not plain ball, he was playing with bundles of left-hand side. Simply brilliant, but he's still got work to do. Well, the 8 ball from Shane Van Boning. Talk about making amends for a previous miss. That really was one of the shots of the day. And with it, he takes a 2-0 lead over Albin Ouschan. Worth a second look, maybe even worth a third or fourth. That was top notch. Shane Van Boning's US World Cup partner, Skylar Woodward. He's a Moscone Cup teammate. Tried to get back onto level terms. I was passing the practice tables earlier. There was Skylar knocking a few balls in. And I said, well, you're okay then, Skylar, on 7 points. You're through to the weekend. He said, yeah, but I want to get a 9 because I don't want to get too far behind the guys who are chasing the top 6 come Sunday night. So in that regard, this is a big match for him. And he has just drawn a level. Heating up, it really is. So Van Boning is 2-0 ahead, and he's breaking off in rack 3.
Our current score is 2-0 in favor of Mr. Van Boning. Mr. Van Boning to break.
Nicely put, Mr. Lehman. He's going to need a random ball. Oh, the wing ball must have gone in, didn't see it. It was that fast. And he's got a shot at the 1, so... And this is a real nice chance. Yeah, there you see the brown 7. Flew in, didn't it? Shane can play this 1 ball into the corner. That will allow position for the blue 2. And all the balls really are in open play, so this is a real nice chance.
All great champions, regardless of the game or the sport they play, have a special aura. I suppose it's created by their reputation. And for me, Van Boning has said aura. When you try and comprehend what he's achieved over the years, it makes you realise you're seeing someone special.
The 5 US Opens, Shane won. He did it in 10 years, Phil. 5 out of 10. That's with all the Asian players showing up, the Filipinos, the Taiwanese. That is, well, that's pretty special, to be fair.
I respected that achievement even before I went to a US Open, after witnessing last year in Atlantic City. I just think it's utterly remarkable. Eight to the bottom left. Guaranteed position on the 9. And the hole for Ouschan deepens. SVB has taken rack 1, 2 and 3. He leads 3-0. He's in command.
Welcome back, pool fans all across the world, tuning in to this year's Predator Premier League pool. The world number 1 is in action. He's playing the current world number 4, SVB versus Albin Ouschan. Blockbuster match. It's all been SVB so far. And that's a good break by Albin. This is Shane's last match of the group format. He's played 14. He's on 10 points. Albin Ouschan has played 13. He's on 10 points. Shane would love to win this match. Albin would have 1 match left. He actually stays on this table to play Kelly Fisher. Kelly Fisher's played 13. She's on 5 points, so she can still do it, but she needs wins. That is a better shot than it looked. Real good shot. And he does have a little bit of an angle, so I have to pot in this 2-ball. Look at the pace. 1, 2, 3, 4 rails that come off. Just needs to pot this ball. Position should be automatic. Lovely shot again. That's okay, Albin. Not sure what's wrong, buddy. The brown 7's in a nice position. It's always nice when the ball before the 9 is a stop shot to get on the 9. Shane's American teammate, Skylar Woodward, is on table 2. He's 3-2 up against Omar. They're the 3 balls he has left. Skylar's on 7 points. Omar, he's on 6 points. Things are happening in this group stage now. There's going to be so many different variables. And Albin is about to get his first rack of this match. Skylar's played a loose one.
Extension called.
This is a big shot now. It's a thin one. He's going to need the extension on his cue. And he's missed it. We've seen a lot of these miss. You just can't afford to hit the bottom rail on that type of shot. Omar's down quick. This is thinner than it looks. Cue ball's going to be travelling. Where's the cue ball? It's okay. What a mistake from Skylar to get on the hill. Omar ties the match up 3-3. Back over to table 1. SVB to break. He's leading this match 3 racks to 1.
Rack number 5. The current score is 3-1 in favor of Mr. Van Boning. Mr. Van Boning to break.
So now that Ouschan's made his presence felt, it was important for Van Boning to retaliate.
That was a great break off. You could see the cue ball park, bang, straight in the middle of the table. Only got kissed up off another ball. Try that break shot at home, folks, or in your pool room. Try and hit them as hard as you can and get that cue ball stopping in the middle. That is a big skill to have. Big shot coming up here. You can see the potting angle. All he's got to do is pot it. Clean as a whistle.
If anything, though, this 4-ball might be even more of an examination.
Extension, please.
Because he has to play it with a certain amount of pace. He looks sharp tonight, doesn't he? Looks really sharp. Bodes well for the weekend.
Well, he's a big-time player. He will have known the importance of these 2 matches against Jason and Albin. 2 players that are above him in the league table.
Yeah, Guess you might have to change the tense soon. We're above him if he carries on like this.
Take note of the way SVB played that. He didn't just draw back, he drew the cue ball back off the third rail. Big margin for error.
I wish I'd got $1 for every time I've said this. Van Boning on the hill. 4-1, playing some lovely pool. Much smooth sailing for Skylar Woodward, although that is an absolute peach. Carl, that could be a rack winner.
Oh yeah, you can see the cue ball is touching 9. He's going to go off the top rail. And he was looking after the middle. Oh, I don't feel like that's going to get there, is it? Oh, it was so close, Phil.
Ball in.
You had a feeling, though, early on it was going to be narrow, and it was marginally. Here's a better look at this, just how close he came. Oof. The coat of paint.
You always felt like the safety from Skylar was going to be good enough. Now he's got ball in hand to be the first player on the hill.
Rack number 6. Current score is 4-1 in favor of Mr. Van Boning. Mr. Ouschan to break.
Shane's on the hill. Albin's at the point of no return.
I do believe the 5-ball might be being a little mischievous. Actually, that worked out a treat because the way he had to play that shot with extreme side was check side, and that meant it was easier to hold on the 2.
Yeah, we've just gone across the table too. Skylar needs a good shot here on the 8. And that is job well done. Looks like Skylar. He's going to join his buddy on the hill. These tables are actually side by side. They're in separate arenas, but when you sat in your chair, you can actually see the other table, so you can get a bit of a feel. There's a bit of an atmosphere going on.
If Woodward does win that match, it would be a real boost for him in terms of trying to make the third phase. As for Omar Al-Shaheen, well, he would then be under a lot of pressure in his next match against Alexander Kazakis.
10 seconds.
Actually, not just his next match, his last match in this phase. Looks like break and runouts are going to account for both of the racks won by Ouschan. Stubborn, but will it be enough? Shane Van Boning gets to break off in the next. That's after our break. Can he complete victory, the American, and go to second place in the table? This is the engine room of this first group in Premier League pool, and look at that. Skylar Woodward completing victory over Omar Al Shaheen with a golden break in the 8th rack. I well recall, actually, Shane Van Boning completing victory earlier in the group with a golden break of his own. This is the top of the table now. Woodward making forward progress. He's up to 7th place. Just confirmation, if Van Boning can win the match we're watching on table 1 right now, he would leapfrog both Ouschan and Shaw into 2nd spot. But of course the consequences of the defeat for Omar Al Shaheen could be quite severe. He goes into his next match, his last match of the group, right now on table 2, against Alexander Kazakis, feeling just a wee bit vulnerable.
Rack number 7. Our current score is 4-2 in favor of Mr. Van Boning. Mr. Van Boning to break.
Do love the way John Lehman starts a rack off, Phil, I won't lie.
You know, it's like a really good starter in golf. When you got one of those, it really does improve the experience. For years, of course, at the Open Golf Championship, we had Ivor Robson, who was so calm and authoritative, much like John.
Yeah, Mr. Lehman, very theatrical. Quite funny when you watch him referee. He'll stand and watch a shot. He puts one foot right in front of the other and sort of kind of just lies back all relaxed. He's a funny character, that man. This is kind of a chance for SVB. Difficulty is going to be the position for the 2. You sort of fancy him to pot the ball, but it's getting on the 2. He can't pot the 1 ball and play for the 2 in the top right because the 5's in the way. So he's got to play this with loads of right-hand English. He's trying to square this up. Well, he could, but the pace has done him. But he does like attacking these shots.
Yeah, up the rails. I think he's one of the very best. By the way, the third match of the evening on table 2 has broken off. Alexander Kazakis won the lag against Omar Al-Shaheen. Yeah, mustered up those rails.
Yeah, because it's not just potting them balls, it's always the cue ball. The cue ball's got to come square across the table. If it doesn't, well, it starts to get a little bit messy. And one good shot here to get on this purple 5, and you would think he's done enough. Needs it to slow down. You can see him looking up to the skies. He feels like he's overdone this. He needed a slight angle. I hope he's the wrong side, Phil, because I like watching the big power stroke. He's just going to roll it in, though. It's a little bit boring, this, Shane. Come on. No, I don't blame him. I'm just joking.
Well, with the side he flicked on, it came down towards the 6 anyway.
Let's pay attention to the cue ball. It's got to go up in a straight line and back down.
Albin Ouschan has just hit a roadblock. Started off this phase. Couldn't do anything wrong in terms of results. Now he started to have a few defeats. Whereas Shane Van Boning has finished off this particular phase of the tournament. Well, you couldn't wish for anything more powerfully or more impressively. First he beats Jason Shaw, then he follows up immediately afterwards with a victory over Albin Ouschan by 5 racks to 2. Shane Van Boning up into second place in the table. Next up, Ouschan looking to make amends against Kelly Fisher in a vital match for her.
This championship is being played with the new Aramith tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best pool balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My Aramith range of ball and cue cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My Aramith, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
boy, it's getting complicated and intriguing at the Predator Q's Premier League pool. All of the guys in the top 8 of the table, they can relax to a certain degree. Obviously, every point you get now helps in terms of the second phase, but in terms of qualification for that, these are okay. Joshua Fuller, 12 points out in front. Shane Van Boning, the new number 2, leapfrogging Jason Shaw and Albin Ouschan. Ouschan, having won his first 10 matches, has lost his last 4. David Alcade, Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz, Skylar Woodward and Alexander Kazakis, they're okay. The top 10 qualify for phase 2, and this is where the really interesting stuff kicks in. Omar Al-Shaheen currently playing his last match of this phase. He's just equalised against Alexander Kazakis at 1-1. Mieszko Fortunski has 2 matches left. So too does Kelly Fisher. And we're going to see Kelly right now because she's taking on Albin Ouschan. What a big occasion this is for Fisher. Ouschan will be incentivised as well. The last thing he wants to do is to lose 5 matches in succession. Uncharacteristic. But alternate breaks, race to 5. How can you possibly discount the chances of Fisher? Joining me in the commentary box for this one is Michael McMullen. Still lots of permutations.
Yeah, it's changed throughout the day, hasn't it? We thought 5 would be enough, then it went up to 6. For a while we were thinking 7 might be the necessary target to get through. 5 wins puts you in 10th place at the moment, but of course it can't stay that way because either Mieszko Fortunski or Oliver Szolnocki will definitely get to 6 because they play each other. And you look at Omar Al-Shaheen, Phil, we were saying at the start of the night, well, he's got 3 matches, surely he'll find a win somewhere and get to 7. Well, every chance he won't because he's lost 2 of them already, and he's won all at the moment against Alexander Kazakis. But he might end up getting through anyway with 6.
Yes, all of the table 2 action is available on Matchroom.live. Ouschan just coming off a match against Shane Van Boning where he had 2 break and run-outs. But here, because of the 9-ball, being rather spiteful in terms of blocking the 2, it's just going to be not a break-in run-out, a push-out.
It's a clash of reigning world 9-ball champions, this. You couldn't describe Albin Ouschan as the men's world champion because, of course, women play in that event as well. But there is a World Women's 9-Ball Championship, and Kelly Fisher won that the last time it was played in 2019, beating in the final Albin's sister, Yasmin.
The 5 and the 7, and indeed the 6 provided a big target to hide behind, and that's what Kelly Fisher has done. As over on the other table, a grievous error from Omar Al-Shaheen. He's missed a very straightforward 9-ball. Okay, the cue ball was close to the side cushion, but he shouldn't have missed that. He snatched at it violently. Kazakis knocks it in. Alexander the Great from Greece leads 2-1.
Al-Shaheen looked to be feeling all sorts of pressure there for the reasons I outlined. He's lost both of his matches so far tonight. And is facing the prospect of missing out from such a strong position. But as we've said, even if he loses that, the way it's playing out, he could still get through.
Look at this from Ouschan. Out of a snooker. Returning the hook.
big ask for Kelly Fisher to win this match. But, you know, even if she doesn't win it, it's important to get as many racks on the board as possible, because look how tight it is. Racks difference could be the deciding factor in the end. She'd still then have to win her last match to have any chance, because as we've said, 5 definitely won't get you through.
Seemed to decelerate on that a little. Certainly mistimed it. That's why he's short of where he wanted to be on the 5. Shouldn't be too major an issue, but this pot has been made a little more difficult than it should have been.
Remarkable thing about Ouschan's situation, Phil, is that he won his first 10 matches. At that stage we were talking about whether or not he could go through with the perfect 15. Now he's safely through to the next phase, but he could potentially end up going through as low as 5th if he was to lose these last 2 matches. He's got a very tough finish. Or rather, sorry, if he was to lose this one match.
Al Shaheen doesn't miss the 9 ball in the next rack on table 2, and he draws level with Kazakis at 2-2. Ouschan makes the first move on table 1. He needs this to regain momentum. Kelly Fisher needs it badly to significantly improve her chances of sticking around for the weekend. Yes, Ouschan, if he can win this, would exit this phase with 11 points. That would be healthy going into phase 2. We must reiterate that although it's only 10 players into the next round robin, which starts here at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, 6 players will be eliminated, of course. The 10 players will start not with a completely reset record. They won't start from 0 or square 1. They will start with the points they've already earned in this phase. So Ouschan wants as many as he possibly can. For Fisher, it's just a case of surviving and then hoping for a big improvement in phase 2. She just wants to be there.
Yeah, quite definitely. She said at the start of the week that she reckoned she could win a few matches, but she wasn't thinking yet at all about getting through. But she wasn't ruling it out, and very quickly at the start of the week it became a realistic prospect when she won 3 of her first 5. So nearly beat Shane Van Bonin as well. But she's just gone off the boil a bit the last few days. In her last 8 matches, she's lost 6 of them.
Trailing by 1 rack to 0.
And even the 2 wins she had were both very close, a 5-4 and a 5-3, so that hasn't done her racks difference any good.
She has broken really well, generally speaking. That, though, not one of her best.
Yeah, Ouschan, as I say, with 1 match left. It's Fisher who's got 2 to play. She still has to face Skylar Woodward. Now, he's having a very good day, so she really is up against it this evening. We've seen it sometimes, though, both this year And last year, when we were here for the Championship League, it's often been the matches you'd least expect her to win that she does pull out a performance and a result.
Push out code.
10 seconds.
As in the first rack, it's push out time.
I've always talked about Kelly Fisher as a crossover player. Although she actually started out playing pool at a very early age before turning to snooker. But Albin Ouschan says he sometimes has a go at snooker as well. Feels it helps him in certain ways. He's quite a student of the game. He takes a broad view on what goes into being a top player. He's very into his fitness as well. He incorporates that into his practice and preparation.
When you apply power, you have to apply power. That shrinks the effective size of the pockets even more.
Over on the other table, it's 3-2 now to Alexander Kazakis against Omar Al-Shaheen, who's breaking in rack 6 and in danger of making it 3 defeats, one after the other at the start of the evening session, and that would mean he'd be finished with 6 wins from 15 and left to sweat on things for the next hour or two.
I would suspect he'd be keeping a keen eye on table 1 as well, Al-Shaheen, when he's not at the table, because obviously an Albin Ouschan win here would be in his favour.
He could find himself a very interested spectator later on a Lucius Yaps match against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz.
Extension code.
Yap, one of those on 5.
10 seconds.
Oh, what a terrific pot that was. Well done, Kelly Fisher.
Yeah, and if she's to have any chance at all of pulling off a major shock here, she's got to take every opportunity of this sort that comes her way. Oh, and just as I say that, she's made a complete mess of getting on the 5.
10 seconds.
If you collide with those middle pocket jaws, especially the far jaw, it's going to be strife. The worst kind of snooker, the
Bow in hand.
self-imposed hook. And the worst kind of outcome, a scratch. 2-0 now, very much in the offing.
Yeah, and she's got to keep her head up, hasn't she? It's been a pretty nightmarish minute or so for her. Just when she'd been handed such a good chance. She's got to keep believing, so long as she's got some sort of hope of getting through. And as I said, even if she does lose this match, it may well be important to win as many racks as possible.
Always businesslike, Albin Ouschan. There are plenty of words you can associate with the Austrian, but slapdash most certainly will never be one of them. As soon as the scratch occurred, you knew that was the beginning of the end of the rack. It could be the beginning of the end of Kelly Fisher in this tournament. That's to be determined. What we do know is that Ouschan leads 2-0.
Here's what's going on next door. Omar Al-Shaheen clinging on to his hopes of getting through. He's looked like a man under pressure this evening. Increasingly so as the evening's gone on. His defeats to Naoyuki Oi, which was very unexpected, and Skylar Woodward, which was less of a surprise. Really put him engaging in brinkmanship in terms of securing a place which was looking to be his for the taking at the start of the night.
Well, he's racing around the table. I've noticed this as I've been watching table 2. He's playing so quickly.
Well, it's, I guess, a case of not giving yourself time to think about the significance of it all. Still looking for that win he needs, and he's still got a chance. It's 3-all against Alex Kazakis.
The 30-second shot clock for Omar Al-Shaheen is completely redundant. A man in a hurry. And after that, this rack might be over in a hurry. There were various points there where I thought the one ball might be obscured. But catching the two like that, I'm pretty sure it's potable.
Said, Phil, there are all sorts of words that could be used to describe Albin Ouschan. Perfectionist, champion, winner. And that's why it's really got to have hurt him that he's lost 4 matches in a row now. Even aside from the implications in terms of the table, that's a sequence you want to snap before going into tomorrow. And this is his last chance to do so.
He will hate that. He'd got all the momentum going And then the 2 ball goes astray. Has he drawn the cue ball back, though, past the 7?
Extension code. Foul shot.
He was drawing the cue ball back to get onto the 3. To get a snooker like that was so lucky, and he apologised to Kelly Fisher after the shot. She said, "It's okay, don't worry." But inside, she must feel as though everything is conspiring against her.
Yeah, but Carl likes to talk about the pool gods, doesn't he, when he's in the commentary box with us. And she did make that positional error, catching the knuckle of the side pocket, trying to get on the 5 when she had a great chance. And really since then, everything has gone against her.
I can only imagine there, Ouschan believed he had rather a springy bounce. Wanted more angle. This 7 ball, much like the 2 he had, can easily be wobbled. Could have been, but it wasn't. Ouschan very much in control of this match. He leads Kelly Fisher, who badly needs a win, by 3 racks to 0. We've been making the pun about Ouschan's 11 for quite a while now, hoping that Albin would get to that mark. We've had to wait but now he's 3-0 upon Kelly Fisher. The 11th point could be forthcoming.
Alex Kazakis has just rifled in a testing 9-ball from distance on the other table. He now leads Omar Al-Shaheen 4-3. So the man from Kuwait, just one rack away from going through the evening, losing all 3 of his matches, one after the other. And that would really leave him in danger of missing out on a place in the next phase. He was looking pretty well placed going into tonight. Not so now.
And from a Kazakis perspective, a victory would strengthen his position in the top half of the table. And he's back on table 2 immediately after his current match to take on Eklund Kachi.
More promising signs for Fisher here. You just look at the way it's shaking down now, Phil. Looks very likely someone's going to get through with 6. Joshua Filler could have as many as 13. So we'll be going into the second phase, it seems, with some players who have almost no chance of catching certain other players. A huge gulf could open up, and some of those players who have done best in phase 1 could be very swiftly certain of their places in the final day. Could spend all of Sunday really just trying to feather their nest, as it were, in terms of getting wins on the board.
Yeah, when you get into the top 6, then you want to get into the top 4. Oh, Fisher was worried. Fisher had visions of the cue ball going in.
Yeah, getting on that 5 has been a perennial difficulty for her in this match. And this isn't a certainty. Nicely recovered, though. She's got great battling qualities. We've seen that throughout the week. The matches that look to have slipped away from her, she's hung in and got some results at unexpected times. And this rack was just what she needed. Nice and clean.
Yes, a ray of hope just comes through a black cloud. Albin Ouschan's lead reduced to 3-1. Let's go over to table 2. We need to be quick because Omar Al-Shaheen most certainly is quick. He's turbocharged tonight. Look at him, can't wait for the ball to go in before he starts moving onto the next shot. Hill, Kazakis and Al-Shaheen. So much riding on that decider that's coming up. Don't know whether he's made a conscious decision to play so quickly, but boy, he's racing around the table.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about storms today. Fast snooker players in the past. We've had the hurricane, the whirlwind, the typhoon, the tornado. It's just getting with the times.
Yeah, the fastest of the lot was also a very renowned pool player. Tornado Tony Drago won a rack, I well recall, in under a minute. 58 seconds, I think. That was in a competition. I think in practice he's done it even quicker. He's won a frame of snooker on the tour against Danny Fowler in 3 minutes. You can't quite comprehend that. If you're watching, Tony, listening, very best regards. What a great player, what a great character. One on his own.
Yeah, and you talk about players who were appealing to watch. Well, I mean, he's up near the top of the list, isn't he? Phenomenal talent.
Well, in terms of ball spotted, break successful. But look at the cue ball, buffeted around. And lots of distance between white and blue too.
Yeah, he came in last night and did a full match in commentary with me, and he was excellent. He gets plenty of practice commentating out in the arena. You often hear him muttering away, reacting to shots, particularly break-offs, and we heard it there again. Although we didn't quite catch exactly what he said, it certainly wasn't complimentary of the split. Over on the other table, Alex Kazakis has broken in the deciding rack. 5 is down, but I don't think he's on the 1.
No, the 2 is saving Al Shaheen's bacon. Well, it's a reverse apology. First, earlier in the match, Ouschan apologises to Fisher. Now it's the other way around. What a fluke that was. All kinds of contacts and collisions being made. In the end, the 3 just about topples in.
10 seconds.
Yeah, Kazakis on table 2 was able to get through to the 1, but not to the potting angle. Now I think Al Shaheen can get between the 2 and the 3 to get to the 1, and may just be able to pot it. Well, actually, he's playing the jump. Oh, well, actually, no, there is no gap. I'm looking at it from a different angle now, but he's going to try to jump the 2. Huge moment. Had he potted that, he would have had a real chance to win the match, but he's left it on. Remember, all the matches on table 2 available on matchroom.live.
The complexion of the table 1 match is changing. Bear in mind, if Fisher can get this rack, she'll be breaking off in the next. Oh, the cue ball just kept sliding on agonizingly. Can she see enough of the 8 ball?
10 seconds.
Extension code.
Calling the extension because I don't think she's quite sure.
How do you fancy this 9 ball when you're in Kelly Fisher's situation in the table? She fancies it quite nicely. Excellent composure on the 8 and the 9. Kelly Fisher battles on, just as she has all week. Let's see what's going on next door. And that failed attempt with the jump shot could cost Omar Al Shaheen dear. If he does lose, at least the consolation will be he's got 4 racks on the board. That could all be very significant by the end of the night.
Poor positional shot though, wasn't it, to leave hampered queuing for the 6.
10 seconds.
Oh, really, really good shot. But he believes he's going to be 2 straight on the 7 to go up for the 8.
Yeah, slapping himself on the head there because he knows that was self-inflicted. Goes back to the previous shot. As you said, Phil, shouldn't have left himself with the difficult cueing. Well, David Al-Kaidi famously made a length of the table bank shot against Kazakis in the World Masters final. Is the Greek contemplating one of his own?
10 seconds.
And the same outcome, except that, of course, was a 9-ball. Kazakis still needs the 9. Huge moment this. This isn't a gimme, but it's for the match. Alexander Kazakis has beaten Omar Al-Shaheen by 5 racks to 4. He moves on to 8 wins, and he's still got one more match to come against the eliminated Eklund Kachi. Where does it leave Omar Al-Shaheen? We'll know in a little while, but what a disappointing night for him. Failed to win any of the 3 matches he had. Now he has to wait and see if those 6 wins will be enough.
Well, prospects for Fischer are looking up. I think in retrospect she would have wanted the 1 ball to stop over the pocket rather than go in. But at least the 2 will pot.
Yeah, you could see she was willing the 1 to stay out of the pocket. To be fair, she was some way out with that. Did she say skid there? Sounded to me, and I'd have to say, it looked as though she may be right.
We haven't experienced or witnessed an awful lot of skids. I think David Al-Kaidi has suffered a couple. What would add up is the fact that the 2 ball went thick, undercut. That's a sure sign of a skid.
Just thinking back to that Al-Shaheen match, that 9 he missed earlier. Chewing from just off the rail. Could well come back to haunt him, given how things have unfolded. Anyway, he's playing the waiting game now. Kelly Fischer, at least, can still do something to influence her fate.
Yes, and the fate of Al-Shaheen could be directly linked to Fischer.
Don't forget, she was 3-0 down in this match. The run out from the break in rack 4. And all the look of being a turning point. It's proving that way at the moment. Things had started to go against her a bit. She settled in that 4th rack. Certainly been going her way since. Oh, she's not hooked herself, has she?
Needed to be delicate. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't as though she played that at minimum pace. There was room for manoeuvre there. So jumping.
Just as the momentum was starting to build in her direction, she may well have given Albin Ouschan the chance to put the wind back in his sails.
Simply terrific. Simply terrific. From that distance, a thin cut like that under pressure. Upper bracket shot.
Should be first to the hill here. And significantly, Phil, he's got the break in the next rack.
The positional shot on the 7, I think Kelly Fisher would be the first to agree, was clumsy. It was certainly expensive. Albin Ouschan has daylight again. He leads 4-2. The conclusion of the match coming up shortly.
Thank you.
The calculations do not make pleasant reading for Kelly Fisher. She has an inferior racks difference to a lot of the guys around her. And so, consequently, you have to believe she's got to win this match. And to do so, she has to win the last 3 racks. First things first, she has to get back to the table. Score update on table 2 in quite a low-key contest by comparison. Alexander Kazakis has taken the opening rack from Eklund Kachi. balls to avoid. The most important one to avoid was the 7.
Extension code.
He didn't so much ask for the extension as whisper for the extension. The wind out of his sails.
Yeah, there was almost an air of menace in his voice there. Feels he's been the victim of a great injustice having to call for the extension. He has been known to let frustration get the better of him so often.
Yes, the frustration demon is still in there. It doesn't surface as often as it used to, but there's still the potential. Look at the gesticulation here.
Yeah, he's got it under control a lot more in recent months. But if anything is going to bring it back, it's 4 defeats in a row. But how frustrated is Kelly Fisher going to be there? She's on the brink of basically going out of the tournament. She's been handed as good a chance as she could reasonably have requested. And she's missed an absolute sitter. And you know, Phil, she's had her chances in this match. She's got to hold her hand up, and I'm sure she will. She's made just too many mistakes.
10 seconds.
She may have made her last one in this match. So Albin Ouschan, it seems, is going to finish with 11 wins out of 15. Only 1 in his last 5. He wouldn't say he's played great even here. So needs to step things up a bit.
I would definitely concur with that. Although he's nicely poised to start things off again tomorrow. He's back on the winning trail. He defeats